couple other things I remember you interested in, and that's how to cap off this here. First of all, I used 3/4 inch deep red Meranti on both sides. And then I had this piece here was part of the original. It's made of a phenolic. It's a fiber material with kind of an epoxy inside. It's kind of an early version of a fiberglass from years ago, and I've gone over it with the epoxy that I use. But that's just screwed in here with a recessed countersunk hole with those screws. You could maybe do this with aluminum. I like the phenolic. It's a little bit tougher. If it scratches, aluminum will keep the scratch. This scratch I can paint over real easy, touch up with my epoxy finish. I'll go show you what I use for epoxy finish. I use the West System 105 epoxy resin and the 207 special clear hardener. This stuff is really nice to work with. I was very pleased with it. You have to practice a little bit, but I was very pleased with the way that worked. Well, that epoxy was sufficient. I didn't get something that was a UV protected overcoat. That might be something if you need to store your boat outside. This is stored inside, so I don't have much exposure to sun except when it's out and about. As far as preparing the metal, I used a aluminum cleaner, an acidic type aluminum cleaner. I cleaned it off. There wasn't any paint on it originally, so that wasn't a problem. There was a lot of corrosion on the underside due to the way the boat was suspended over the water. When I got it, it was suspended for many years. I think it was like 18 years. And partially in the water, partially out, or mostly out. And that caused some pitting of my aluminum. So I decided I wasn't going to try and shine it, I was going to paint it. And so I cleaned it with the aluminum cleaner, like I said. Then I used an epoxy primer. It was kind of a green epoxy primer. I could probably get details on that if you needed. And then I used I forget the paint. I can tell you that later if you're interested. But I painted over it. The nice thing that I really was happy with is that I had masked this off so that this is just the plain aluminum. I also did it on the top here. So I painted inside here, over the top, and down the sides here. I regretted painting this. I wish I had left this and I had masked this off. These are areas that get dinged all the time and get scratches. This has been really handy to keep the scratches off when I'm loading and unloading and doing a lot of things that I like to do. Anyway, that's the main things about. I'm glad to hear that your aluminum is in good shape, so you don't have to do too much with it. I'll pause this and see if there's more I need to tell you. I spent a considerable amount of time on the trailer trying to make that work. The last finishing touch I did was to add these here. I made a huge difference in being able to get it centered on the trailer, and I can just drive this thing on the trailer as it is. I custom made some rollers that tilt there so it kind of catches it. And the other trick part to this was that roller that has the spiral centering feature on there. And then not too much else to tell you there. I have a switch down here that I can turn on some lights that shine underneath the trailer, and that's for cleaning off the weeds when I pull it out of the water. In Minnesota, we have to be careful with transporting any weeds to another lake. The trailer I had bought on eBay from somebody local, I had to extend it, add in an extension piece here and then shorten the tongue so it fits the hull of the boat. It sits down pretty nice, so this here is a comfortable angle here to get up on top. That's a cover I bought originally, and I don't use it except for storing, keeping the dust out. I guess if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them. There's a lot more details to find out about, what kind of foam I use, maybe where I got it, paint materials, where I got the carpet from, whatever. I'm willing to share it, whatever you want to know. Talk to you later. Bye.